Mesachas Chagigah daf tezvov. The Gemara is a shaila of besulish ibra biambati ma'alukain gadol. Rabbeinu Chananel has a mechudishtige pshat in the Gemara that the Gemara is clearing a shaila not specifically by a kohen gadol, rather besulish ibra biambati is the isha tome leida if she was nisabrah biambati, and the Rabbeinu Chananel says since the leida was with ma'aseh and it wasn't through the regular derech ish v'ishta to have a leida, therefore could be she's not tummy leida. Rabbi Chanan Kavchum and Ksubis brings a raya from this Rabbeinu Chananel that all dinei Torah are specifically in a normal situation and not b'derech shinui, and that we find halacha klachiyad is potter and Shabbos is not a specific halacha in Shabbos, rather it's halacha called Torah Kula, and he brings a raya from this Rabbeinu Chananel that you see that a lady was this Abra Biambati, since it was at an ordinary situation, therefore there's no Tumas later. In Sefer Maneschen and Shabbos, we mentioned the shir in Shabbos Daf Lamed Gimel, the tshuva from my father Shlita, that brings a raya from Rabbeinu Chananel to a very interesting halacha that's negei l'maisa. That's common nowadays. People give birth with IVF or other procedures. And according to what's mavur in the Gemara in Shabbos, in Perik Blessed the Milah, that kol she'ein imoy tmei leida, the Milah is not Teicha Shabbos. So a child that's born through IVF, according to Rabbeinu Chananel, since it's abnormal, this is similar to Isha that's this Abra Biambati. There's no Thomas leida, so therefore the Milah is not Teicha Shabbos. Moving further on, the Gemara says that Zeiche Tzadik he is noitel chelke v'chelik chaveyo began Eden, is chayev rosho noitel chelke v'chelik chaveyo begehenim. Beis Levi in Parashas Noach explains what's the understanding in this chus of the tzaddik that is noitel chelke v'chelik chaveyo began Eden, and he explains the understanding is that every ma'aseh the person does affects others. If he does it aveira b'farhesia, for sure people learn from him, but even if it's betzina, it's mashpia on his entire sviva and entire world, and therefore if a Rasha does an aveira, it makes it harder for the tzaddik to do mitzvahs, so therefore it's bedin that it comes to a tzaddik to neitel chelkoi v'chelik chaveir began Eden. Yitzchak Sirotskin in Gvus Yitzchak says that according to what's mavur in the Gemara over here, you can be Yashiv with Teres Yisrael's Kasha. In the last parak of Sanhedrin, that the Mishnah says in Sanhedrin, Kol Yisrael Yeshnam Chelek Olam Habah, and it's Tzorchian, because even the Chasidei Umas Olam, they have a Chelek in Olam Habah. So Yitzchak Sirotskin says the answer is, according to what's mavur in the Gemara over here, that Yisrael have a chelik miyuchid, and it's set aside me'ikara for each one of Klal Yisrael to have a chelik Olam Habah, and only through his riches he loses his chelik Olam Habah. However, it's goyim, even if the Chasidi Umas Olam is not a pshat, they have a chelik that's set aside me'ikara for them to be zeichen Olam Habah. With that tzidkis, with the Chasidis, they could be zeichen the chelik Olam Habah. And he says according to this Tigmiyashiv, Rambam and Hilchos Yisur Bia, that explains when the ger comes to Megayer, we tell him that with his ma'aseh mitzvahs he'll be zeicher to Olam Habah, and Olam Habah is only tzofen for tzaddikim which are from Klal Yisrael. And Rameir Soloveitchik Zichron Levracha asked that Tzorchin, how can we tell the ger that only Klal Yisrael has Olam Habah? It's mavur in the Rambam Hilchos Tshuva that even Chasidi Umas Olam have a chelik for Olam Habah. So Yitzchak Sirotskin said the answer is, according to this Yisrael that's mavur in our sugya, that it's choluk b'iki Yisrael, the schia of Yisrael b'Olam Habah, that they have mikora set aside for them a chelik Olam Habah, and therefore if they lose it, tzaddik chaveru is zeich in it. However, goyim don't have a chelik that's mezum mikora for their chelik Olam Habah. They're only zeicher with the chasidus to a chelik in Olam Habah. Moving on, Tesis brings that the Acher went off the derech was because it's mavur in the Yishalmi, because of a story at the time of his Bris Milah. His father set him aside to learn Torah, Shaloi Lishma, because he saw a tremendous Eish HaGdolah that comes from the Torah. Ein Sichas Musaf from Chaim Shmulevitz Zichron Levracha, they asked that Tzorchian, it's mavur in the sugya further, that the reason why Acher went off the derech was because of the fact that Zema Yivani le Pasik Mipume, and because he saw the lotion of Chutz Mitzad Meturgmin. Chaim Shmulevitz says that understanding in the Sugi is according to tremendous Yisoid we find in many areas that there's two halakim from a Maisa. There's the Maisa that actually happened, and there's the Shirish, the cause, the roots that caused the Maisa to happen. And you find the Gabi Maisa Mitzvah and the Hepech Va'avera. And he's Meirich to many cases where you find such a Yisoid defined by Abraham Avinu, the Beschus Yukach Nomat Mayim. Klal Yisrael was zeich in the midvah for the be'er, and Tzorchian, it's mavur that the be'er wasn't because of Avram Avinu, it's because of Miriam and Amon. Also it says because of Avram Avinu, it's mavur, it's because of Moshe Rabbeinu. So Chaim Shmulevitz explains, understanding is that with the Ma'aseh Chesed of Avram Avinu, it was Neschadish Shroshim, the roots for the Schusim of Klal Yisrael and the bear and the mon in the midbar. When you plant a tree, you put in seeds that cause the roots to grow, and afterwards it grows a tree. You have to work on the tree to make it grow. So the same thing, by the schus of the bear and the mon, all the shoshim, when the schadish, through the schusim of Avram Avinu, the actual tree of the schusim of the bear and the mon came through Moshe Rabbeinu and came through Miriam. And Chaim Shmulevitz explains that's understanding in our sugi as well, although Acher went off the derech because of Zema Yivani and because he saw the Lashon of Chutz Mitzad Meturgmin. Many people have these challenges and they don't go off the derech and doesn't affect them in a negative fashion. Why did it cause Acher to go off the derech? The reason is because of a chesaron in his roots, and since there's a chesaron in the fact that his roots were shalei l'shma, like the Yerushalmi explains, so therefore it caused him many years later to go off the derech. And Chaim Shmulevitz explains that's what the Pasuk says, by Yaakov Avinu, B'soidim al tavi nafshi. Yaakov Avinu asked that in time of the machlokes it shouldn't be mentioned his name. And Kapshuta, understanding is that it shouldn't be mentioned his name at the time of the machlokes, but Chaim Shmulevitz says that the understanding is much deeper, that Yaakov Avinu asked that the roots that caused this tremendous machlokes should have nothing to do with Yaakov Avinu. And Chaim Shmulevitz says that you can see from this a tremendous dvar musar, that even actions that one could assume is okay, and he's not being oivin avera, we still have to inspect deeply if any action that we do would be a cause of bad shroshim that could have a negative effect in a later time. V'ayin sham by riches gedolah. Moving from the Gemara says that after Acher passed away, it was said like the maiden they can't go to Gehenna because since he was oisik b'Torah. And the Sefer Til L'Yoyna from Yedideinu Hagoyin Binyamin Shlomblum asked a tremendous kasha according to some vur in the Mabit basically Kim that says that Acher was toya ala rishonis, he was toya and he had charota on the mitzvahs that he originally did. So if that's the case, it's mavur in the Gemara and Kedushin Daf Lamed Tes that someone is toya ala rishonis, he regrets the mitzvahs that he did, he loses the original mitzvahs. So if that's the case, how was the Torah making on him that he shouldn't go to Gehenna? So Achoy can answer that although he loses the mitzvah, the chefts of Torah he does not lose, like the Mavur, that the actual Torah has halachas, and in Chaim that you make a bracha on the actual Torah, and therefore since he had the chefts of Torah, so the chefts of Torah was Megan, even though it didn't have a din of a Maaseh Mitzvah, it still could be Megan him that he shouldn't go to Gehenna. A different nusach you could say that for one's Torah Rishonis, it could be he only loses the Kiyam Mitzvah, but doesn't lose the Chefza of the Maaseh Mitzvah. And according to this, you can Yashiv that the B'chonon asked the Chavetz Chaim, what's the Chiddush of the Parsha of Tshuva? The same way as Allah of Torah Rishonis loses the Schar of the Mitzvah, so what did if someone's Torah on the Averis, he should lose the Averis that he did. So it could be if someone's Torah Rishonis is not oike the Maaseh Mitzvah, he's just muvatal the Kiyam Mitzvah. So therefore, the Gabi tshuva won't be oike the aveira mikara, so therefore you need the chiddush miyuchad of the parasha tshuva to make the aveira come on the lesser. So according to this, miyashiv, it still is a mitzvah, so therefore the Torah is making him not to go to Gehenna.